To create with ease. Now listen to this. You are responsible for your own happiness. In fact, you create it. So create the life you deserve and vibrate love, says 𝘃𝗵𝗁𝘁. Now, Craig is one of my favorite poets. I just love his poetry. It just takes me somewhere. So this one is an excerpt from one of his poems, an amazing one. Now, welcome, my people, to the Hope Ignites Healing podcast with your host, Dr. Lillian Kalisa. This is a space where we speak everything holistic health and healing. And we are in the season this year where we're talking create. We are creating holistic health with ease. That is in our minds, our bodies, and all else. And I'm talking about relations with people and spaces around us. This week, we are talking create with ease. We are digging deeper into the theme for this year, breaking it down so that the rest of the journey is a smooth one. I hope you will look forward to the year as well as I am after listening to this. Allow me to say thank you for the feedback, the comments, the ones that have said carry on from the reviews that we made last week, seeing forward into 2024. Thank you that the clean out journey has happened in your own lives to start holistic health. It's amazing. And look, it's not too late to do your clean out, because for create, you definitely need a clean out. But let me delve into the podcast already without taking any further time. So as usual, I will start at story time. Now, I have a little story. On one of those mornings, I was in one of my holistic health routines, and that is exercise. This particular one, I was walking in my neighborhood. Now, I love water. Generally, flowing water creates something magical within me. Maybe it's from my growing up as a child. I was born in a city on the shores of Lake Victoria, surrounded by fresh water close by, and that is 𝘃𝗵𝗁𝘁. A little city right there, beautiful, one of the most beautiful places I have ever been. I kid you not. Anyhow, I remember riding my bicycle quite often to the shore to either swim, watch the water, or just have a quiet time while there. Now look, what was I doing? I didn't even know what self-care was at that time, so I don't know what I was doing. But there I was at it persistently. It was my safe haven, the place to run to, just by the shores. Anyhow, maybe that's where it all started for me to love water, like I do right now. Water is healing and therapy to me. Anyhow, back to my walk. I saw a stream of water flowing along the path on which I was walking, and I found myself stopping right there and watching it. The mini stream had points of turbulence. This led me to my mind imagining a lot of things, including how waterfalls are made, how turbines are run, how electricity is generated, how waves are formed, to mention but a few. There have been points of resistance to form these things that my mind was leading me to. So on my little water stream that I was watching, I noticed it because of the sound it made. If it had been still and moving still, I probably wouldn't. Now, the sound came from small spots of resistance that came along its way, either from a stone, a rock, or a branch, or a stick, or some resistance, right, to create the turbulence. And this created the beautiful mini waves and waterfalls along its path down the slope it went, the ones that I noticed. Now, I got carried away. This moment created something for me. The spots of resistance created the moment for me. Had it not been them, I would not have listened or heard this water or taken time to look at it. And what is my lesson in all of this? To create what is beautiful takes work. Along the way, there definitely will be resistance. That there is where, like my mini stream with rapids, waves and waterfalls, that there creates what is noticeable. Now, I'll tell you in my own story of pain, which you know if you've been in this space long enough. coming from the climax of losing my father, my hero, a space that led me into a downhill post-stress traumatic disorder, everything falling apart for me, including people closest to me. The story was quite painful. I had just myself and me to speak, hence starting the Hope Health Healing Initiative to speak for women. And at that time, it has since transitioned into what we now call the Holistic Health Hub, a bigger platform for learning holistic health and wellness to lead you into a life of abundance. And now we have the Hope 𝘃𝗵𝘁 podcast that has been running for 3 years. Then the Dr. Ellen K brand. We have courses, we have speaking engagements, to mention but a few. All this came from a place of severe pain that I don't even want to remember. What has your story created? Now, I'll tell you that my mantra, again, allow me to remind you, I always speak of it because it's the way I live my life every day and teach others to do the same. Comes from the definition of health given by WHO in 1948, that health is a state of complete emotional, physical, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease and infirmity. Now, social well-being encompasses a lot. In there is spiritual well-being in social well-being. Hang on with me as I lead you to something. Now, for me, it's a non-negotiable daily to have my spiritual nurturing. So basically, the whole mantra is a non-negotiable for me. I wake up daily and ask, how am I physically well? How am I emotionally well? How am I socially well? And helping others to do the same. So for spiritual nurturing, that is a non-negotiable daily. Again, not just for as a religious practice, but for completeness for me. It's in my holistic health routine. I listen. I listen to what is the world telling me, what is my quietness telling me, and above all, what is my higher being, higher power telling me, and that is the Holy Spirit. And whenever I listen, I hear, I write in my journal. Do you have your journal for 2024? I hope that you have got one. By the way, I designed an amazing holistic health journal. Let me know if you would like a copy and I will get it to you immediately. Amazing, life transformational. But I'll tell you when we'll most use it. It will be in the courses especially. Anyhow, without drifting off, back to my moment of spiritual nurturing on 25th April. I wrote down in my journal, this is what I had. After the clean out, we then build up. And I wrote it down. I journaled it. I didn't know what it meant, but I wrote it down. Was it the word for the next season? I went on through my year doing whatever I need to do to get around. And again, on 22nd August, I wrote this in my journal. It was confirmed as creation. He said, master the discipline for creation. And I wrote it down. So to create what you desire, for me, it's mainly completeness daily. How do I then create completeness in my mind, in my body, and all around me, the spaces and people that I'm called to serve? Now, the English dictionary clarifies the difference between build up, what I had at the beginning, and create. Build up is bringing something into existence. Building on something that was existing is build up. And to create is creating from new, creating anew, creating newness. Now, my assignment this year is to create newness, to create something new. The build up, remember, I had started on the clean out journey, and he was instructing that he will build up on that into creating something new. Isn't that amazing? This is so exciting. Hang on with me as I show you what create is, as I further went on into depth of hearing the detail for which he was instructing. This is what create will look like for me and those that I'm called to serve this year. The C is for clean out. Call out your clean out. The C is a clean out and a call out. Give it a name, what you are cleaning out. Now remember, nothing new fits in what is old and cluttered. Give it a name. Are you cleaning out your mind? Are you cleaning out your spaces? Are you cleaning out the people that are polluting your environment? What is it that you're cleaning out? Give it a name. That is the C. And the R is to reorganize. The new self in preparation to receive. Remember, he told me to prepare for newness. So when you clean out, whatever you have brought in has to be reorganized. Reorganize that space. Get a new pattern to reorganize your mind. Get a new discipline plan to reorganize your body and what you will look like. To reorganize your relationships. What will you do? And the E is empowerment. Take authority, responsibility, build yourself, your skill and your intellect. I love empowerment. It is a core in one of my courses where I'm talking about empowering you to own your health, to own your growth, to own your finances. Take away the power from somebody else. By the way, in the holistic health moment that had developed while we were away, I've talked about empowerment quite often. I've found in my work that when I empower patients to take care of their health and well-being, they give the best results of being well long-term. So here you go, to be empowered. A is for action, to take the necessary action now. To start, what have you been putting on hold for the longest time? And speaking to myself, so am I to you. Is it a course that you are meant to do? Is it a discipline routine? Is it to start to work out? Is it to eat right? Is it to fast? Is it to write your first book? Is it a relationship that you need to mend? Is it someone you need to forgive? Start. Take action today and start. And the T is to be the thought leader and talk about that area. What is your intellectual property? Let it be heard, because someone is waiting for your voice to find their healing. This is me talking about holistic health, because completeness is my intellectual property. I am a medical doctor trained and skilled to make people to be well. And if I don't speak about it, who will know, or who will come for me to give them that healing? So what is it? You are a thought leader in something. It's time to speak about it, to talk about it. And for the E, finally, extraordinary, to evolve. Prepare for this. He said, embrace newness. I love extraordinary. In fact, one of my courses is called the Extraordinaire course. I have learned in the whole of my life, when I connected the dots, that I have purpose to be extraordinary. No wonder I'm in your space right now. How many doctors in this part of the world are doing a podcast regularly for 3 years? Not so many, right? So I know what I'm talking about being extraordinary. So the E in create is to be extraordinary. Now listen to this. Remember, you are responsible for your own happiness. In fact, you create it. So create the life you deserve and vibrate love, said 𝘃cie𝗵𝗰𝗲. Now this is me reminding you that it is in your hands. What are you waiting for to create the life you deserve? And here is the question of the week. What are we going to be working on? What version of you will you be creating this year? So that at the end of this year, is it in your mind that you are exceptionally well? In your mind, I'm talking about your emotions, your intellect. What books are you going to be reading? What are you going to be listening to build your spirit? How are you healing or finding emotional wellness? And in your body, is it for fitness? Is it to improve your BMI so that you're weighing less and are more healthy? Is it to create a brand signature look? Is it your etiquette, the way you look, the way you carry yourself? Is it your elegance? What will you be working on? What do you look like when you work on the things in your body? Is it that medical checkup that you have been putting on hold for the longest time? Is it the dental clean out? What is it? And for the spaces, to have deeper relationships with a higher power? Is it with your spouse? Is it with your children or a friend or someone you need to forgive? Is it with your environment? When you do all these things, they are leading to extraordinary. Mine is to create this year, and that is the acronym that I've shared with you, to create to the detail. Now, as we finish the podcast, let me lead you through the affirmation of the week. Join me on this one and have it as your core through this week. Let's go. I create with ease. I start the clean out of all that does not serve me. I am reorganizing all that I have, working in my favor to work for me and serve me. I am empowered to take authority of my calling and my assignment. I take action today. I am a thought leader in my sphere of influence. My intellectual property is to die for, created from my best experience, my story, my life. I am an extraordinaire. I create the extraordinaire starting today. You have done well for sharing this affirmation and making it real. Take it through the week and make it your own. Now, here is me inviting you to the Extraordinaire program. Now, you don't want to miss it. I have become extraordinary and I'm ready to support you to do the same through finding holistic health. I want you to join my mailing list so that you do not miss out on the depth of the communications that you will require in preparation for this. Now, I'm excited. It's a game changer. It's life transformational. It's me creating the extraordinaire in you. So I have prepared this with you in mind. Do you want to join me? Say yes by clicking the link and join the list where we shall share details. Your host, Dr. Lillian Kalisa, I'm here to cheer you on to your health, to add the glow to medicine and in your own life. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next week on the next one. Bye-bye.